During a video, make notes in a table like this.
Hiya, you probs know me from TOWIE. I'm here to interview Al Capone today.
It's Capone, you dumb wad.
Oh, so who are you anyways?
I'm Alphonse Capone, the most famous bootlegger and gangster in American history.
Oh, coming from Essex, I know all about gangsters. What's a bootlegger though?
In 1920s America, the government passed the 18th Amendment, which banned the distribution and manufacture of alcohol. So a bootlegger during Prohibition was somebody who supplied alcohol illegally.
Oh, what, no booze? How'd you party then?
We could still party in illegal bars, which we called speakeasies, because gents and broads could speak freely without fear of arrest. By the end of the 20s, I controlled practically all of the speakeasies in Chicago.
Oh, how come the police didn't nick ya?
The agents policing Prohibition were paid low wages, so they were easy to bribe. Even the officials like the mayor and the chief of police were easy to buy off. They were in my pocket. In fact, the mayor of Chicago, Big Bill Thompson, only got elected because of I insured. He got there by paying for his campaign.
Oh, so what sort of mayor was Big Bill?
An absent one. Absent because I controlled Chicago. When Big Bill came to office, he said he'd be wetter than the Atlantic, meaning he would allow citizens to drink.
I thought America was one of those democracies, and that don't sound very democratic to me.
Democratic, you dumb wad. Yeah, people had a free vote, as long as they did what I said.
So, what other gangsters well gel of you?
My main rivals were the O'Banion and Bugs Moran gang. They tried at full times to pop me, which is why I invested in an armoured car. Of course, I got my own back with the Valentine's Day present for Bugs Moran.
Surely all this killing and violence was bad for Chicago.
Sure, by 1929 the federal authorities decided gangsters had become too powerful, and people began to realize Prohibition was causing more problems than it was designed to solve. Hubert Huber, the president, branded me as public enemy number one.
Do you think I was well out of order to be called that?
I was just supplying popular demand. I give people what they want by supplying drink. Plus, during the Great Depression, I opened soup kitchens for the poor, so as a kind of modern-day Robin Hood.
Oh, that's well, Reem. But aren't you the main reason why Prohibition ended? Because of all the violence and corruption you created?
Sure, I came to symbolise everything that was wrong with Prohibition. The disorder, the corruption, the deaths. My gang of 700 gangsters terrorized the city with assassinations and car bombs, and in the end committed over 300 murders in Chicago. But I wasn't the only gangster. There were thousands of bootleggers who also contributed to the disorder. Besides, by 1930, America had ended the Great Depression, so the government needed more money.
Oh, well, thank you for your time, Mr. Capone. I notice you've got a scar on your cheek. Can I give you some beauty tips to cover it up?
Have you looked in the mirror lately, you dumb broad? Now shut your hole and give me a cup of coffee.
So, what have we learnt? Capone came to symbolise the problems Prohibition had caused, so in this way his actions did lead to the repeal of Prohibition. After the St Valentine's Day massacre, the government realised they needed to stop Capone and labelled him public enemy number one. Capone controlled Chicago after bribing corrupt officials and using violence to defeat his opponents. The high levels of corruption and violence led to calls to repeal the 18th Amendment. But Capone was not the only gangster, and there were other factors which led to the repeal of Prohibition. Capone argued he was simply supplying public demand, which suggests Prohibition failed because it was unpopular.